There is a moment that happens to a lot of people after 50, and it usually starts quietly. You wake up tired even after sleeping. Your stomach feels heavier than it used to. The weight around your waist refuses to move. Your cravings get stronger at night. And suddenly the same foods you've eaten your whole life don't seem to work anymore. So you try eating less. You try walking more. Maybe you even try one of those healthy, low-fat diets. But somehow the belly fat stays. The energy crashes keep happening. And deep down you start wondering, is this just aging? Here's the truth. For many people, it's not age. It's metabolism. More specifically, your body may have forgotten how to burn fat for fuel. And that is exactly why so many people are now turning to something called the ketogenic diet. Not because it's trendy, not because it's magic, but because it changes the fuel system your body runs on. And when you understand how to do it correctly, something surprising can happen. Hunger starts calming down. Energy becomes more stable. Brain fog begins lifting. And for some people, their body finally starts letting go of stored fat again. But there's a problem. Most people start keto completely wrong. They cut carbs, but they never enter ketosis. They buy expensive supplements, but still feel terrible. Or they stay hungry all day and blame the diet instead of the mistakes. So today, I'm going to walk you through the simple beginner rules of keto. The same foundational principles many people completely overlook. And if you stay until the end, I'll show you the one mistake that quietly destroys ketosis in thousands of people every single day. My name is Dr. Sean Dozbo, and let's begin. First, you need to understand what keto actually is. Because most people think keto means eating unlimited bacon and butter. That's not what this is. Keto is a metabolic state, a fuel shift. Normally, your body runs mostly on sugar, bread, rice, pasta, cereal, juice, snacks, desserts, even many healthy foods. All of those carbohydrates eventually turn into glucose, and glucose becomes your body's main fuel source. But here's the problem. When glucose stays high all the time, insulin stays high too. And insulin is a storage hormone. It tells your body, store energy, store fat, hold onto fuel. That's why many people feel stuck. Their body is trapped in storage mode. Keto changes that. When carbohydrates drop low enough, your liver starts producing molecules called ketones. Ketones are made from fat. And once that switch happens, your body begins relying more heavily on fat for energy instead of sugar. That's ketosis. And for many people, that changes everything. But here's rule number one. You must stop chasing perfection. Because perfection is what makes most people quit. Some people try keto for 2 days, feel tired, get cravings, and immediately decide the diet doesn't work. But your body needs time to adapt. Think about it this way. If your body has been burning sugar for 40 years, you cannot expect it to become efficient at burning fat overnight. There is a transition period. And during that transition, you may feel tired. Headaches can happen. Cravings can happen. This is often called the keto flu. And in many cases, it's not actually because keto is dangerous. It's because people lose water and electrolytes too quickly. Which brings me to rule number 2. Salt matters far more than people realize. When insulin drops, your kidneys release more sodium. You urinate more. Water leaves the body. And suddenly people feel weak, dizzy, or exhausted. Not because keto failed. Because electrolytes crashed. This is why many experienced keto doctors recommend increasing sodium during the beginning. Broth, mineral salt, electrolyte support, especially during the first couple weeks. Now, let's talk about the number that matters most. 20. Remember that number. Because for many beginners, 20 grams of net carbohydrates per day is where ketosis often begins. Not 100, not 70, not mostly healthy carbs. Around 20 net carbs. That's where many bodies finally start switching fuel systems. And this is where people get shocked. Because carbs are hiding everywhere. Sauces, fruit juice, granola bars, healthy cereals, coffee drinks, even yogurt. People think they're eating low carb, while their insulin never actually falls low enough to enter ketosis. That's why tracking matters in the beginning. Not forever. But at first, you need awareness, because you cannot change what you don't measure. Now here's another mistake almost everybody makes. They remove carbs, but they are still afraid of fat. And keto does not work well that way. This is not a low-fat diet. Your body needs another fuel source. That fuel source is fat. Healthy fats help with fullness, satiety, energy stability, hormonal signaling. And this is the part that surprises many people. When insulin drops, fat becomes easier to burn, which means dietary fat does not behave the same way it does inside a high-sugar diet. That's an important distinction. Foods like eggs, avocados, olive oil, butter, fatty fish, nuts, cheese. These foods help many people stay satisfied much longer. And that fullness matters, because one of the biggest reasons diets fail is constant hunger. Now I want to talk about cravings, because cravings are not always about weakness. Sometimes they are biological. Highly processed foods are engineered to keep you eating. Sugar plus refined carbohydrates creates dopamine spikes in the brain. And over time, many people stop eating for nourishment. They start eating for stimulation, comfort, stress relief, entertainment. That's why one of the smartest things you can do before starting keto is clean your environment. Seriously, get the junk food out of the house. Because willpower becomes much harder when temptation sits 3 feet away in your kitchen. And here's something interesting. The first few days after removing processed carbohydrates, many people suddenly realize how often they were eating out of habit instead of hunger. That awareness alone can change someone's entire relationship with food. Now, let's talk about protein, because this is another area people misunderstand. Keto is not a zero-protein diet. Your muscles need protein. Your immune system needs protein. Your body repairs tissue using protein. The goal is moderate protein. Not excessive, not deficient. Good sources include eggs, chicken, fish, beef, Greek yogurt, turkey. Protein matters, especially as we age, because after 60, muscle loss accelerates. And maintaining muscle is one of the most important parts of healthy aging. Now here's where many people start feeling encouraged. Once ketosis begins, appetite often changes. Not for everyone immediately, but for many people, the constant obsession with food starts calming down. Breakfast becomes optional. Snacking decreases. Energy crashes improve. And this happens because blood sugar becomes more stable. Instead of riding a roller coaster all day, the body finally experiences more consistent fuel delivery. That stability can feel life-changing. But I need to warn you about something. Keto does not give you permission to eat unlimited processed keto junk food. This is a huge trap. Just because something says keto on the label does not mean it supports health. Keto cookies, keto candy, keto desserts, artificial ingredients, sugar alcohol overload. Many of these products keep cravings alive. And some people end up recreating the exact eating behaviors they were trying to escape. Real food matters. Simple food matters. Now let's talk about fasting for a moment. Because many people naturally start fasting once ketosis begins. Not because they force themselves, because hunger decreases. And when insulin remains lower for longer periods, fat burning becomes easier. That's why some people naturally move toward 2 meals a day, or occasionally skipping breakfast. But this is important. You do not need extreme fasting to begin keto. Start simple. Focus on consistency first, because consistency beats intensity almost every time. Now, I want to discuss one of the biggest misconceptions about keto. People think the scale is the only thing that matters, but often other changes happen first. Less bloating, more stable energy, reduced cravings, better sleep, improved focus. Some people even describe feeling mentally clear. And there's a reason for that. Your brain can use ketones for fuel. In fact, some researchers believe ketones may provide a more stable energy source for certain brain functions. That's why keto continues being studied in areas involving neurological health and cognitive performance. But let me be very clear. Keto is not magic. And it is not for everybody. Some people do extremely well with it. Others may need modifications. Medical conditions matter. Medications matter, especially diabetes medications or blood pressure drugs. That's why working with a healthcare professional is important if you have underlying health issues. Now here's the mistake I promised you at the beginning, the one that quietly destroys ketosis. Cheating too often. People stay low-carb Monday through Friday, then binge on pizza, desserts, soda, alcohol, and chips every weekend. And their body keeps getting pulled out of ketosis before adaptation fully happens. It becomes metabolic whiplash. That inconsistency is exhausting for the body, especially in the beginning, which is why giving keto a true consistent trial matters. Not perfection, consistency. Now, if you're considering starting keto, here's a very simple beginner framework. Step 1. Remove sugar drinks. That alone changes a lot. Step 2. Cut the obvious starches. Bread, pasta, rice, cereal, chips, desserts. Step 3. Build meals around protein and healthy fats. Eggs and avocado. Chicken and vegetables cooked in olive oil. Salmon and salad. Simple. Step 4. Increase electrolytes, especially sodium. Step 5. Give your body time, because the first week is not the final result. And finally, stop obsessing over calories every second of the day. Your hormones matter. Your hunger signals matter. Your food quality matters. This is bigger than math alone. And I want to end with this. A lot of people believe their body is broken after 50 or 60. They think exhaustion is normal. Brain fog is normal. Weight gain is unavoidable. But many times the body is simply overwhelmed by constant sugar exposure, constant insulin spikes, constant processed food, and constant inflammation. When that changes, the body often responds. Maybe not instantly, maybe not dramatically overnight, but gradually, quietly, steadily. More energy, less hunger, better control. And for many people, hope returns. So if you decide to try keto, keep it simple. Real food, consistency, patience, and pay attention to how your body actually feels. Because sometimes the most important changes happen long before the mirror notices. This is Dr. Sean Dozbo. Take care of your metabolism. Take care of your brain. And I'll see you in the next video.